here I am. Hello. It's been so long since I've done a live, I've forgotten how to do it. Now, Chris and Belle aren't on tonight, so I thought I would just do a little stream just covering really. It's been so long since I've done a stream and they're not on, so I thought, well, why not just do one in their place anyway? That's not to say I'm jumping in their grave. But I thought, well, it might be nice, because people usually have a Monday Night Live. So why not? Let's just cover. It's not going to be anywhere near as good as Chris and Belle's, obviously, because I'm nowhere near as good at them. And also, it's just kind of off the cuff. So, yeah, let me know what you've been up to this week. Let me know what you're doing. Hi, Limelight. Thanks for joining on this little random live. I don't know, to be honest. I've messaged just see if they're okay. But I honestly don't know. So I thought I'd just do a random little live. So at the moment, Limelight, it's just you and me. So tell me, what you want to talk about or anything. Just doing a random live just to cover them. Just so, people have got something live for a Monday night, basically. Clearly, I very much need a haircut. Look at the state of my hair. And also, I'm sorry if the fan is really noisy. I've got my laptop next to my fan, so obviously it's quite hot. I probably would have been better off starting at 8, but now is good as time of any. It's good, Limelight. So I'm going away to Padstow next week in the van. Staying at a campsite, going there for 3 nights. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I've pretty much done the build really. I've got some Velcro because I've done the foam and the fabric for like the sofa bed. So I've just got to Velcro it all together. I chose to go with Velcro so I can wash the cover of the foam, if I need to. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to going away next week in it. Actually, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I've also bought a fishing rod because I want to start fishing. Hopefully that will come before I go. But I've bought like a whip, so it's not your average fishing rod. It hasn't got the reel on it. It's almost like if you think of like ice fishing, take it back to there. It's that kind of thing. So it's like a long rod still, and you just drop it in the water. Hopefully catch some fish. But it's good for beginners because you haven't got to worry about all the fishing line and the reel and everything like that as well. So it's good for beginners. Hello, Lin. How are you? Glad you're enjoying Devon, or I hope you are anyway. Just filling in for Chris and Belle because they're not on tonight. So I'm just doing a little fill-in live just so people still got a Monday Night Live, basically. Let me know how you're doing in Devon. Yeah, I have messaged in the Discord group and I took a picture of what I've bought. But I don't think he's seen it. Either he's not seen it or he's not impressed. One of the two. Something like that. Hello, Joan. How are you? Just doing a little fill-in for Chris and Belle just because they're not live tonight. So just doing a little fill-in show, really. Obviously, I've just decided to do this randomly. So it's not like, it's not going to be anything like Chris and Belle's. Obviously, they're very good at live shows. So yeah, just kind of filling in really. So let me know what you guys have been up to. Let me know anything that you want to talk about, even if it's not reselling related. It doesn't really matter. I'm just doing a little Monday Night Live just so people have got a Monday Night Live, really. That's all. Having a little beer because I'm not in work now till Thursday, I think. So this is like my weekend, basically, because I'm not in work now till about Thursday. So yeah, let me know what you guys all want to talk about. Doesn't have to be reselling related. just filling in for Chris and Belle. We can have some fun. What have you guys been up to today? Or over the weekend or last week? Just all have a chat. Ooh, Limelight, that's great. What was it? I've actually had quite a good day today, so I'd kind of like accidentally niched into clothing, I think, really. It was what I started with picking up, like that was what I started with. Um, and I was doing quite well with it, so I kind of just ended up buying loads and loads of clothing, kind of accidentally niching into it. But clothing isn't selling as well now. Like there's things that I would have picked up and got 20 to £25 easily for. Now I'm only getting kind of like 10 to 15. So I'm going back to picking up everything now. And I've had about almost £100 day today. So I sold a Nintendo Wii that I got off Facebook Marketplace with a Wii Fit board for 20 quid. No, I bought it, sorry, for £20. I sold it for $54.99. And I also sold a Sony Video 8 Handycam that I bought for £10 at the car boot and sold for £40. So I'm almost up to kind of £100 day. Obviously, with the fees taken off, I'm not quite there. So hopefully, maybe I'll get another sale in to make it £100 day, which would be great. That's always kind of my target, really, is to try and get to £100 day. Doesn't happen very often, but it's my target. Oh, a set of books. Very nice. It's always great, isn't it? You know, when you get a great sale like that on something like, you know, books or whatever. Easy to ship, easy to send. Just got to make sure you don't get caught out with obviously like the weight as well. But, you know, now I need to make 1,000+ sale. Looking for my stock, there's not much chance of that. Well, you never know what you might find, Limelight. It's always good to have targets. It's always good to have goals. I have loads of targets, loads of goals, but you know, don't give up on them. Just keep going. That's all you can do. That's fine, Lin. Thank you. How do you find everything stockers apart from the car boots? I struggle to find it and end up just selling clothes. Yeah, this was kind of what I did as well, Maddie. But to be fair, I was, you know, like I said earlier, I was doing well with clothes at the time. Not doing so well with clothes now, mainly because of eBay offering no fees to private sellers. You know, I do sell a bit on Vinted, but I have to sell it for cheaper than I normally would have. And I think clothing now has just become massively saturated because of places like Vinted. Depop are now doing no fees. eBay are also doing no fees for private sellers for clothes. It's just become so saturated. And that's not necessarily to say that you won't make any money at all with clothes, because you will make some. But I'm focusing more on now the quick flips, you know, so things like consoles, cameras, blah, blah, blah. Going back to that really now, because I want the money quicker. I don't want to be, you know, waiting 3-4 months for something to sell, because it's just become such a saturated market. I think you kind of just have to look at other things, really. That's certainly what I'm doing now. I hope that helps. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to talk about. Just doing a random Monday night live just to fill in for Chris and Belle because they're not on right now, and it's just so people still have a Monday night live. So yeah, let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to do. Doesn't even have to be reselling related. Just so you have a nice Monday night live still. Maddie as well, you can go to not car boot, sorry, charity shops. However, charity shops I think is a bit of a dying art now. Um, Mainly because they're so overpriced now. Um, Even people like Joe Public don't want to buy the charity shop prices anymore. And there are still things to find in charity shops, but there are better ways to source as well now. Hi Helen, thanks for joining. Yep, there's one near me. It's only about 10 minutes down the road. It's every Saturday, Sunday, and bank holiday Monday. It's not too bad. It's a very big one actually, but again, you can find some people who literally just want to clear out and they just want £1 an item or whatever, which is great. But there's also a lot of people there who kind of go, oh, well, I know what this sells for on eBay, so I'm going to put it at that price, or whatever. It doesn't really sell for that much, but yeah, there's a lot of people there wanting higher prices for things. But I just try and target the people who are, just clearing out really. So yeah, just let me know what you guys want to talk about. I've got absolutely no plan for this live because I decided it literally 30 seconds ago. So there's no plan at all. There's 11 of you here, so put a little question in, put a comment in. Let's all have a chat. We can chat about anything. Has anyone been finding eBay kind of difficult lately? I know that I have. I found eBay pretty difficult lately. I found it, apart from today, it's been very hard to kind of get sales on. Are they okay? Devon is great. Moved to different caravan. Oh no, that's awful. Didn't they clean it or something before? Yeah, you should be moved, especially if the door doesn't lock, because that's not safe, is it? How weird. Why didn't they clean it all before and make sure the lock was on? Well, at least you're in a good one now, though, Lin Lin. Tell it in bedroom. I had quite an interesting chat actually with the eBay rep because I said, do you feel that now that personal sellers are paying no fees for clothing on eBay, do you think that's had an impact on business sellers? And they said, no, we don't think it has, because what they said was business sellers quite often take better photos, do more photos, and offer refunds. And I said, well, I'm not totally convinced by that because, as far as I'm concerned, all the buyer is interested in is what's cheapest. I don't think they really care about, whether you're a business seller or you're a personal reseller, whether you offer refunds or not, how many photos you take. I think, like in this day and age, especially at the moment, the cost of living crisis, all people are after is what is cheapest, and that is that. Um, but yeah, I do think that I think actually that's why my sales have dropped horrifically, and it's because of not being able to not being able to compete with private sellers on eBay anymore. I think that's what it is. Yep. It's one thing negotiating on a £10 item, but a £1 one. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Pete. How are you? Still waiting for your YouTube channel? Just doing a random live, just because obviously Chris and Belle aren't on, just so people have got a Monday night live still ready. So there's no plan to this. There's no topic. There's no nothing. It's just hello, come and chat. Let's just chat. Um, Limelight says, what about car boot etiquette? Yesterday, on 2 occasions, I saw someone trying to negotiate a discount on a £1 item. The seller said no, but they kept insisting. I could see the seller getting cross. Well, I would as well. Like, if it's £1, like, come on, man, you know? Like, that's cheap enough, surely. I'm trying to think, like, what would you sell? Like, what would a pound be too expensive? I don't know. I don't know what would be too expensive at £1 for someone to go, oh, 20p, 50p. Like, if a pound is a pound. Strange one. One was a handbag, so you're gonna, well, obviously, if you're a reseller, you're gonna make more than £1 on a handbag. Wow. But even for yourself, like £1 for a handbag is banging. Like, why would you try and, put that down? I mean, I know there's haggling, but also you've got to be like respectful to the seller as well. Like, £1 is cheap enough. Just pay it. Madness. Madness. What annoys me at car boots though is like when people just proper gather around cars and like they don't let people out, and they're already kind of going through their boot before they even got it out. Like, stuff like that really annoys me. Like, it's so rude. And I don't know why people think it's okay to do either. Just find it really weird behaviour. Really strange behaviour. So tell me, guys, your best sales. Obviously, we know Limelight's amazing. Tell me your best sales. Tell me what you've been up to. Tell me what's going on. I think my Wi-Fi signal is dropping actually. But yeah, tell me what's been going on, guys. I usually do try and do my Wednesday night live each week, but because my shifts are so awful at the moment, if a shift comes up, I kind of have to take it. And obviously, that's what pays my rent and bills. Like, my YouTube lives don't pay my rent and bills. So I kind of have to take that because that's what's going to pay my rent and bills. But yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to get back to a point where I can do a weekly Wednesday night live again. But other things have to take priority sometimes. Like, I haven't even had a haircut. Look at the state of it. Don't like boot dives either. No, I don't. But yesterday's car boot started at 6 and new sellers were arriving at 9. So I can see why people are looking in the boots. They should arrive at 6. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Jen. I do see what you're saying. But at the same time, if a car boot is open from, say, 6 till 12, for example, like, you should be able to show up whatever time you want. Not everyone wants to get up at 6, on their day off. Some people want to get up a bit later. And I'm okay with it, really. I'm all right with it. No, I haven't. I keep contemplating it, but I've kind of lost my confidence a little bit with it actually. I didn't have much confidence with it to start with, but I have lost my confidence a bit. I've kind of gone back to kind of thinking that, oh yeah, I'm going to go tonight, I'm going to do that. But then I'm like, oh, what if people see me? What if someone talks to me? What if someone says, what are you doing? So yeah, I've kind of lost my confidence a little bit with it. I've got my gloves now. I've got a torch. I've got something to stand on. I just need to grab her. But I've kind of just, yeah, I don't know, just sort of lost my confidence a little bit, to be honest. It is, very much so. It's good weather at the moment. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed doing it with Lindsay and Alvin because I had them there. They know what they're doing, you know, so I enjoyed doing that. And then I tried on my own and then was like, oh yeah, shit, I haven't got anything to actually stand on so I can actually see over the top of the bin. Um, so I got something to stand on, I got some gloves, got a torch, so I'm better prepared now than the last video. But I've I don't know what it is. I've just kind of lost my confidence. I don't know whether it's because it's the light evenings that I'm worried that someone's going to see me because obviously it doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock at night or whatever now. So I don't know whether it's that. I don't know. Like I've just kind of just feel a bit self conscious and a bit aware and just sort of lost my confidence. I think I need to go with someone again to kind of get my confidence back, to be honest. Yeah, they go really early. Well, George goes very early rather than I'm not an early morning person. I'd rather go later at night. But I'm wondering whether maybe actually an early morning would be good to get my confidence back. No, they didn't. They weren't feeling very well, so they didn't do it. They've both got a bit coldy, fluey things at the moment, so they didn't do it. What have you guys been watching lately as well? Let me know what you've been watching. Yeah, I don't really know why I've lost my confidence, to be honest, because I got everything, like the torch, the gloves, something to stand on. Just need to grab her, but I don't know, for some reason I've just lost my confidence. Oh God, haven't you watched it yet? You need to watch it, Lisa. I mean, it's pretty easy to binge because they're only like half-hour episodes. I think there's about 7 of them, so you can kind of do it like in about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, which is same as just watching like a really long movie. But it is, I don't know. It depends how you feel. Like, 'cause there's a lot of graphic scenes in it. I watched it all in one. I don't know if that makes me a bit of a sociopath or what, but I watched it all in one. Um, but you can do it that way. But there are a lot of graphic scenes in it, so you might not want to watch it all in one. But I definitely think because so many people have been weighing in on Baby Reindeer and obviously everything going on about it, but they haven't actually watched the series, so they don't know what the backstory is, which is kind of annoying because everyone's given their opinions and all these little snippets that they see on social media or whatever, or they haven't watched the Piers Morgan interview and the follow-up debate. So, everyone's just kind of talking about it just because it might get them some clicks, it might get them some views. But like what they talk about is a load of shit because they haven't actually watched it. And that kind of annoys me a little bit. Oh, sorry, Lin Lin. That's why I'm here, just trying to fill in a gap. Oh, nice, Pete. Would never have thought of picking up posters, to be fair. It's definitely not you, Lin Lin. It's not you. No, I've never seen posters or thought of picking up them either. Let us know, Pete. I don't know why I keep getting the low signal Wi-Fi notification up here. Just let me know if you can actually hear me okay, because I don't really know. Keep getting this low signal thing, which doesn't usually happen. Not really sure. Hello, Kathy. How are you? Long time no speak. Just doing a little live just to fill in for Chris and Belle, just so people have still got a Monday Night Live. I see you borrowed Andrew's potato. Andrew's potato? What do you mean? I don't get it. Sorry, Kathy, I don't get it. Well, Cheltenham's not far from Bristol, so I guess I get little bits of that accent as well. Same as like Cheltenham's not far from Birmingham. It's the same distance, really. So I think you kind of get little twangs of both accents. And from Cardiff as well, it's only about another half an hour on. So I think you get twangs of both Cardiff, Birmingham, and Bristol, really. Oh, Marketplace, £5 each. Managed to get just under £100. Wow, that's brilliant. Well done, Pete. I mean, obviously, you've got to know what you're looking for, what's worth picking up. I mean, you're not going to pick up just the average Guns N' Roses poster from HMV or whatever, are you? But, uses a potato as a camera. I haven't got a potato though, Kathy. I don't get it. I don't know what you mean. It looks like it because I don't have a potato. Is it my face? Is my face a potato? I don't know. Or is my camera being weird? I don't know. Is my camera being weird? I don't know. Tell me, Kathy, because I genuinely don't know. Yeah, that could be a secret, Jenny. It could well be a secret. Who knows? I was saying earlier that I'd like to go back to doing a Wednesday night live, regularly again. But because I've got hardly any shifts, if I get a shift, obviously that has to come first because that's what pays the bills, not the YouTube lives, unfortunately. So, yeah. But hopefully I will get to a point where I'll be able to do a consistent Wednesday night live again. But thank you to everyone who's joining me just doing this random live covering. Very much appreciate it. I'm always happy to just do a random cover for when people aren't on, so then you still get something on, whatever night. When there's a fuzzy photo, was this taken on a potato? Was it saying, oh, right. Oh, hello, potato. Haven't seen you in a while. And yes, I would most definitely agree. As a potato, you do have the authority to explain it. I don't know, because I keep getting this Wi-Fi thing come up saying that my connection's dodgy. So I don't know whether that's what it is, perhaps. I don't really know. I don't know whether I'm blurry, fuzzy, or what, or whether people can really hear me. I actually don't know. As I said, this is just a random live. There's no plan. There's no nothing. I don't blame you, potato. I really don't blame you. Although it is very warm now, so I think it's probably safe to come out. I'm gonna get a drink. So I've been working quite a bit. So this is like my weekend right now. So I'm not in work until Thursday. So although it's Monday for most people, it's like weekend for me. Woo! The microphone also sounds like you are a journalist filming in a tornado. My fan is behind me, so I think that's probably what it is, because I've got the fan on as well. So I think that's probably why you're hearing the wind, to be honest. Hey, Boo! Nice to see you. I'm just doing a random live just to cover, because Chris and Belle aren't on. I just thought it would be nice so people still had like a Monday night live ready. And I haven't been live for quite a while, so I thought it would just be nice. But thanks so much for popping in, Boo. Really appreciate it. Has anyone ever had Royal Mail collect your parcels from home? I'd like to try it, but I worry they won't turn up. So I used to do this when I was sending on Poshmark, because it always used to be collection by Royal Mail and you couldn't do anything about it. What I found was that quite often they would come, but they didn't always have the labels for all of the parcels. I don't know where the cut-off point was. For example, Lindsay and Alvin, when Poshmark was there and there was the free credit and everything, Lindsay bought something off me with a free credit. Alvin bought something off me with a free credit. Both orders were placed at the same time. However, the postie only came with Lindsay's label and not Alvin's label. So yeah, with Poshmark, that's the only time I used it, and it used to be really hit and miss. So I don't know. I can't really say much more than that. But I think Sharon actually uses them, and she's got really sort of friendly with her local postie now, and she takes more, stuff to her and things. So I think if you're doing it yourself, the collection's probably all right. If you're using their website and doing it yourself, the collection's probably fine. But the only time that I've ever used it was with Poshmark, and it was really hit and miss. Yeah, it was for me, but again, like I said, I've only got the experience from when I was using Poshmark when it was here in the UK, and it was massively hit and miss. But then Pete says it's always been good, and Chop Chop says the same as well. So I'd imagine it's probably okay if you're doing it yourself and not relying on another platform to do it for you. I always put my labels on and I've been around. Yeah. Yeah, they're fine. They both just had like cold and flu-y stuff this week. So didn't go live because they both just not been well. But I'm sure they'll be live, this Saturday, but they just haven't been very well. The only collection from home I've had was DHL. It was terrible. Didn't know how to use a doorbell and just didn't turn up one day. I've never ever had any dealings with DHL. However, DPD are bloody awful. So with Whatnot, especially when people buy, multiples off me, it quite often ends up going with DPD. And the label never scans ever. So I have to get my phone out, get them to scan it off my phone, and they're always like massively grumpy about it at this shop. I'm thinking of going to another shop, to be honest, because they're just always so grumpy. And I just can't be dealing with them, basically. Can't be dealing with it. And I've got about 3 DPDs to do this week. And I'm just like, oh my God, like the thought of it is just horrific. Just scrolling down. Stayed in Cheltenham for the races a few times. Think the street was Oakland Avenue. Quite handy for the course. I don't know that. Is that in Bishop's Cleeve or is it actually in Cheltenham? Like, Bishop's Cleeve is a village that is kind of classed as Cheltenham, but it's not really. It's just like a random village, to be honest. But I live quite close to the race course, actually. I live pretty much in the town centre. Yeah, there's loads of stuff going around at the moment. And apparently there's like some new strain of COVID as well. Yeah, there's loads of things going about at the moment. I have had orders from Whatnot, and a lot of sellers take the parcels then. They say they are full. I have to go several times a week. Yeah. This DPD shop, I mean, it's the closest one to me. It's where I take my Yoda ones as well. Never have a problem with the Yoda ones. Always scans immediately, and they all seem happy to take the Yoda ones. But the DPD ones, it's like it's a rigmarole, and it's just like, oh, it's just too much hassle. Our DPD drivers are right for delivering. It's Yodel. It's the worst for us. May as well send it carrier pigeon. See, I've never had a problem with Yodel. I'll tell you what. So when I first started reselling, I used to use Royal Mail for everything. And the amount of stuff that I had to go missing was absolutely ridiculous. And I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to switch everything to Every. And that's probably about a year and a half ago. And I've probably can count on one hand the amount of things that I ever had missing in that year and a half. It's so sporadic. And Yodel, I've never had anything go missing with them. InPost the same. Like Royal Mail, I've just naffed off and never looked back. DPD, although, if I could naff that off, obviously I don't get the choice of Whatnot, and the buyer doesn't get the choice either. It's just what it goes with. And I find it's when people buy multiples off you, it switches from Every to DPD. But yeah, it's rubbish. DPD is awful. I just use DPD. Yeah, terrible. It is. Next day delivery, found it in Basingstoke. Should have been in Sheffield. Oh my God, they're like 2 opposite ends of the country. How the fuck do they mess that up? In fact, I'll tell you one good DPD story. I posted when I first started Whatnot. Took obviously DPD to the shop with the labels on. The next day, they delivered it back to me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So I had to contact Whatnot, and I was like, "I don't really know what's happened." Like, I sent these as with the same label, everything that was given to me, and somehow it's just been delivered back to me. And they were like, yeah, we don't really know either. No idea. So they sent me out a new label, took it to the shop again the following day, and then it actually went to where it was meant to go. But I was like, how the fuck does that even happen? What the hell? Cheltenham North Presby Road. Yeah, I know Presby Road. That's not too far from me. Only use Royal Mail if going to one of the islands is cheaper. Yeah, that is one thing that's kind of been annoying me lately on eBay, actually, that they've started doing, is if every classes it as a remote location, which is quite often, like Channel Islands, Northern Ireland, some parts of Scotland, or, whatever, they've suddenly started doubling the postage amount. And before, I used to sell to, these kind of areas, same amount of postage, but all of a sudden now it's like, oh, it's a remote area. We need to double the amount. And that gets kind of annoying. Because obviously I've only charged the buyer £2.94, and not at any point does it say, oh, perhaps you should put it at this because this is, a remote area or whatever. So you end up paying like double shipping for like no reason, really. It's really annoying. We used to go to a festival at Cheltenham Racecourse years ago now. Cherry was a little one. Ah, that's nice. Couldn't Potato remember? I don't like send on Vinted when the customer chooses in post. I wish there was an option to turn it off at least. I think you can turn off certain services because I turned off Royal Mail on Vinted, but I haven't looked at that again for ages. In post is a little bit annoying. I mean, I've never had a problem with the actual delivery, but I can guarantee you, for some reason, I don't know whether it's my label printer, any label I print will not scan at the in-post locker, and I end up having to type in like the number. So at least I can still get it off. And also actually the digital label, when I do it on my mobile, also doesn't scan. And then there's people in front of me who are just quite happy like scanning their shit, and I'm like, why doesn't this work for me? Why me? But that's literally the only grumble I've got with InPost, to be fair. My heart sinks when I get, oh my god, yeah, the Argos ones. I have to admit, I've never had anyone, no, once actually, and I have sent quite a lot to the Argos ones, or whatever, but only once have I had someone that's not actually picked it up. And then they suddenly message like, oh, well, I was away, so now it's coming back to you. And I was like, well, it was sent. Like, surely you knew you were going to be away, and you've just not bothered to go and get it. So, whatever. But yeah, I've only ever had that once. The majority of them are fine. Lisa switched off in post. It's very hit and miss, isn't it? Everyone's got different experiences, and it's very hit and miss. She remembers me getting food poisoning and being taken away in an ambulance. Ah, that's the only memory you've got of Cheltenham. That's very sad. Hello, Paulette. Nice to see you. I've had parcels not picked up at local shops. They never get back to us, though. They must be on a car route somewhere. I don't know. Because if you've sent the parcel and it's not been picked up, surely it should make its way back to you. I think that's what happens. Hello, Ian. Nice to see you. InPost is off. Oh, good. It's off. Yeah. Royal Snail is just ridiculous. I sacked it off a long time ago, and I've never looked back, ever. I had one in post and the driver did not scan it, so the customer could not collect it, so it got returned to me. Yeah. I remember getting my own tent and there being a storm, so I stayed in Mum's tent anyway. Oh, potato. Hi, Dan. Nice to see you. Thanks for finding my channel. Just a very random live tonight. I do generally try and do one every Wednesday, but that's been very sporadic lately, just because of work, really. I have to take the shift, so it's just because of work. It's been very sporadic. But thanks for finding the channel, Dan. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I need to have a little wee actually. Just bear with me. Bear with me one moment. Put some comments in the chat for me. Mute. No, I did turn the mic off. Sure, I've never been to Blackpool, and I've always kind of wanted to go, but I've never been ever. I also remember not being able to wear my hat because of the weather and being very upset. Why couldn't you wear your hat though? What was wrong with the weather that you couldn't wear a hat? I'm sure you can wear a hat in like most seasons. What was wrong with your hat? Yeah, it's been lovely here as well, Dan. I would like to go and see Sharon again, yeah. But I'm not quite sure when yet. But I'm definitely going to go back up there again. I'm in Padstow next week in Cornwall in the van, staying there for a few nights. So I'll see what it's about. I'll make some videos. Yeah, I am definitely going to go back to Shaz's, and hopefully her and Steve, her husband, can come here as well, which would be nice. So I'd really like to show Shaz about. Anyone had any interesting finds at the weekend boot sales? I was selling my eBay Dead Zone stuff. I picked up last week, so it's taken me a week to sell. I picked up a Sony Video 8 Handycam, paid £10 for it. The comps were just all over the place, so I decided to kind of go middle ground and go at 50, and I took an offer of 40 today, and that's sold. Picked up a Nintendo Wii off Facebook Marketplace at the weekend as well, and that sold within a few days. Paid £20 for it with a Wii Fit board, sold for $54.99. So I've done quite well today, actually. I'm quite pleased with myself. I haven't done a fart. I would tell you if I did a fart. Everyone would know if I'd done a fart. No, there's no duck race later, I'm afraid. Like I say, this is very off the cuff. It's just covering, just so people can have a bit of a Monday Night Live. There's no plan, there's no nothing. It's just saying hello, really. So no duck race, I'm afraid. Sorry, Jenny. I do like roller coasters, actually. Limelight went to Chelford. Very windy. It was a cowboy style hat. What were you, like Woody from bloody Toy Story? I spent the last few days doing sales similar, not closed, did 140, had 4 sales, never again. Wow, 140 sales similars to get 4 sales is madness. I mean, what's that, like 2%, 3% of the amount of sales similars you did have actually converted? That's just crazy, isn't it? And it's not right. Like, if you did 140 sales similars, you should be expecting really to convert 10 to 20. And that's not your fault. That's eBay. That is eBay all over. Don't get me started. We used to go to Blackpool for the pound a pint pass. Went to Park Hall on Saturday and East Lancs Sunday. I need to get listing and not shopping though. I know, that's what I'm doing. So I've stopped sourcing at the moment because I've got so much stuff here that isn't shifting that I've stopped sourcing, and I'm just focusing on getting that stuff out. The stuff that I bought from the boot, you know, a couple of those bits have gone, but I'm mainly focusing on getting things out at the moment than getting things in, because I need to make some space. Have you been to Clarkson's farm? No, I haven't. And there's a reason for that. It's because I can't stand Jeremy Clarkson in any shape or form. And that's why I've not been to his farm. So sorry about that, Dan. But you'll never catch me at Clarkson's farm because I can't stand him, essentially. Very expensive. Yeah, I've heard that the farm shop, well, to be fair, it's just a tourist attraction. Like here, he's not a farmer. He's making as much money as he can. He's selling off, all his farm produce for as much as he can possible. It's just, he's not a farmer. He's not agriculture. He's just a businessman, and that's it, really. A lot of people around here kind of feel like that as well. If you ask local people, the amount of people who's actually been to his farm is minimal. I've been doing sales similar 10 per day for a week, changing titles and details, and only one sale. eBay is dead in the water. I know what you're saying, eBay. Ian! I know what you're saying. Like, I used to do quite well on eBay, and for months and months now, I've been making a fraction of, what I was doing. I don't really know what the answer is. I think when you talk as well, the thing is, when you talk to younger people, especially like at work, I kind of do some sly market research because obviously I work with, a lot of people who are kind of younger than me as well. And no one talks about eBay. None of them even mention eBay. Lots of people mention Vinted. Occasionally they mention Depop, but the majority is Vinted. And I've also heard a lot of people kind of say never ever buy from eBay. I don't really know why. I'm not quite sure what that is, whether it's because it's more expensive or what. I don't know. But I think Vinted has a very good hold on the younger people, the younger market, which is something that eBay haven't had, and they've let it past them, because eBay, I find, very much a reactive company rather than a proactive company. Like all of a sudden doing, oh, private sellers can all of a sudden have, free fees, blah, 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 on clothing. Well, Depop did it before eBay. Vinted was obviously always there doing free fees anyway. So they're just reacting. They're not proactive. They're not thinking of the next step. How are we going to keep our business sellers on the platform when Vinted Pro comes? I think eBay is starting to die, if I'm totally honest. It may take a few years yet, but I think it's starting to die, and I think they know it as well. There's no way they can compete with these other platforms. But that is my thoughts. That's just what I think. People can disagree with me, that's fine, but that's just what I think. Oh my god, I know. Apparently he's been voted sexiest man for like a couple of years now. And you're right, who was doing that? But even his wife didn't vote for him. A cheating website. I kid you not, that's where they get the votes. Hilarious. Dermot O'Leary was high on the list. Yeah. I know what you mean. I've done better on Depop and Vinted this week. Yeah. If I don't get more sales, I would find Jeremy Clarkson attractive. 20 quid is 20 quid. Well, yeah, chop chop, you got that right. If you need money, 20 quid is 20 quid at the end of the day. No potato. I mean, like, eBay have sponsored Love Island for a number of years now. I think last year, maybe the year before, saw a little spike in sales because obviously it was being advertised more. Obviously, eBay, I don't think they do the same amount of advertising as Vinted. But I also have no evidence to show that my sales are spiked because eBay is sponsoring Love Island and people are watching Love Island. There's no evidence for that. I don't know. But eBay have massively fallen behind on trends. They're so out of touch with their sellers. It's a matter of time. It's a ticking time bomb. And as far as eBay is concerned, everything's fine. It's not. You don't need to be a genius to work that out. The layout of the app and the website are a bit outdated. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like they've never kept in touch with a younger audience. They've never kept in front of the trends. When you look at really like, the eBay website and the app, it's like layers upon layers upon layers of software, which is why I think they have so many glitches, because it's like, they built this base layer which worked for so many years, then they add something else in, so there's another base layer. Oh, let's work for a bit. Hang on a minute, we need to catch up, so let's add in this bit, and then that's another layer. And I think that's why you get so many issues. Woo woo! Well done, Lisa. I don't actually know Jeff, to be honest, but thanks for tuning in. I don't actually know, but I just thought I'd do a random live just so people had a Monday night live, really. But yeah, I don't actually know, but I hope they're okay. I messaged Chris saying I hope you're all right. But yeah, I just thought I'd do a random little live, to be fair. Purchased a pair of walking boots last week, quite late night off Vinted. Got a message within seconds for postage. Bar stewards scam. I'll tell you what, Vinted are very well known. In fact, they've been on Watchdog as well. For American viewers who maybe don't know, Watchdog is like a program where they call out companies for scams, bad customer service, or whatever. And Vinted have actually been on this program, and it's about how they have no very little customer service or no control over the scams and things. And obviously, it's still happening. But throughout all its faults, Vinted is the leading platform right now. Clarkson has more wrinkles than my granny after she's been in the bath for an hour. Ian. Hiya, Chris. Nice to see you. And now they won't remove bad feedback anymore. You have to do the removal form. Yeah. Yes, I've seen this, Dan. I mean, I use Free Trade. I don't know what you use, Dan, but yeah, I've got a stocks and shares ISA account with Free Trade, and it's very, it's a solid price, isn't it? It doesn't really move. Goes up a little bit, goes down a little bit, but nothing really happens with it. So I actually haven't invested in eBay because I don't see, I mean, eBay does give me the majority of my sales, but I don't see any forward thinking. I don't see how they're going to keep up with the platforms like Vinted, like Depop, like Whatnot and things like that. Like they just show no signs of listening to the younger audience, keeping up with trends, making their app more easier to use. I mean, how many times have you listed something and in your item specifics, like how much of that is really relevant to the item that you're listing? It's not. You can list something on eBay, it will take you about 8 to 10 minutes. You list something on Vinted, Depop takes you 2 minutes. And time is money at the end of the day. Old people like me that don't buy or sell clothes happy with eBay though. That's good. That's fine. That's fine. But, the majority of people, it is the younger audience and they're looking at other platforms. It's not just actually about age. It's about the fact that you've now got platforms with no fees. When Vinted Pro comes out, there's still going to be no fees. So people are going to go there. And eBay just aren't keeping up. I'm not totally sure, Lisa, to be honest, because again, they're late to the party. You've got Whatnot, you've got Tilt. They're very late to the party, and they're just testing it out with a couple of UK sellers who I've not heard of, to be totally honest. They're just testing out with a couple of UK sellers, and nothing's happened since then. I mean, we all heard that eBay was going to do live selling, right? With these two sellers, and what's happened since then? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I'm not convinced. Or you need my wrinkles out of it. Yeah, Ian, don't be wrinkleist. eBay software is now like a bowl of spaghetti, fixing one thing that breaks another. Yeah, that's what I mean by going from one, constantly building. That's what I mean. They're going to find it very difficult to make the platform easier now. It's built on old foundations. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, Paulette. Like, it's just like, they got their base. Oh, perhaps we should catch up with this. So we're going to build another base. And then we build another one, but actually that bit of software doesn't like this one because it was older, and then you get the glitches, and it's constant. That's what I see, to be honest. I have Free Trade, I have cruise company shares, I get on board spends when I sell. Chop chop. Windows. 95. Yeah, this is what I mean, Jeff. This is what I mean. I heard Vinta's next adventure is to employ people who repair clothes for a small fee. Wow, that would be, I've not heard that, but that would be incredibly interesting. And there's a big market as well for reworked clothes. Like when you get the night tops that have been reworked with something else. So maybe. I actually don't know. I don't know. I just saw they weren't going live, so I asked Chris and I said, do you mind if I do a cover live? He said no. But yeah, I hope they're all right. But I actually don't know where they are. I'm just doing a bit of a cover one, so people have something on a Monday night, really. Oh, now this is interesting, actually, Lisa, because I was on the Next Level Resale call earlier. For those who don't know, yeah, I am part of the Next Level Resale eBay Discord group. And on a Monday, they do a team call. And Anagram Flips mentioned Messina Hembry in that call as well. I think she was saying just kind of how expensive it was, and it wasn't really, you know. But yeah, this is the second time that I've heard this name in a day, and I've never heard of it before in my life. So it's kind of weird. I think she was saying she's got a Messina Hembry shop by her, and it was all really expensive. It's funny how like things come up in conversation, and then like moments later you kind of hear it again. It's weird, isn't it? How many of you think that when Vinted Pro comes out, it could well be the start of the first nail in the coffin for eBay? They are not too bad on eBay for buying for you sell, but if you go directly to them for stock, they're expensive. Yeah, I think that was what Anagram was saying. But I've never heard of this Messina Hembry before in my life, and now it's popped up twice in the space of about 2 hours. Again, I'm sorry if you can hear the wind from my fan, but it's just really hot. Um, I'm kind of hoping Vinted Pro gives eBay a kick up the backside and they change things. Yeah, I am too. But the conversations that I had with the eBay rep, I I don't know. They're so out of touch. They're just so out of touch. Like I don't think they come across like they don't really care, and the eBay is always going to be number one. Blah blah blah. But when you can do business selling on Vinted with still no fees, it's it's a no brainer, isn't it? It's an absolute no brainer. Um, like I said earlier, I was quite shocked at the response I got where I said, "Do you think?" Because obviously I am a majority clothing seller. Do you think the fact that people, private sellers have now got no fees, and all of a sudden I'm now not selling clothing when I was before? I see that as an impact. And they were like, no, there's no impact to you. Business sellers do better photos, they offer returns, refunds, things like that. You get the 30-day this, that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, I know, I get that, but we're in a cost of living crisis. People are literally going to look for the cheapest, and that is it. There's, I don't think they're really going to care whether they can send it back or not. If they've paid a cheap enough price for something, like if I buy something off Vinted, like for myself, it's only cost me £2. Am I going to bother sending it back for the sake of £2? No, I'm not. I'm just going to keep it. I'll either keep it, I'll give it to someone, or I'll resell it myself. So I don't buy what they're saying, and that's what I mean. Like they're just so out of touch. It's just like Wow, wow. And I do think this is the start of eBay's demise. In fact, you know what? You can screenshot me saying this if you want. This is the start of eBay's demise. And you can look back on this in 3 years' time and go, actually, she was right. That's how confident I am. Screenshot away, guys. Screenshot away. Just scrolling back. Yeah. I think eBay will make big changes. They have big pockets, so we'll probably buy out Vinted. Don't know, but I kind of hope that eBay doesn't buy out Vinted because I wouldn't want Vinted to turn into another eBay. No, they don't. They just kind of tell you what you want to hear, to be honest, and they all say something totally different as well. Yeah. There are still categories that you can't sell on Vinted. I think it's because the point of Vinted is mainly a clothing platform, and they've opened out different categories like consoles, books, toys. They've kind of gradually opened that out, but I think when they go to business, they will open out everything. I genuinely think so. eBay must have a comeback plan brewing as they have shareholders to pay. Yeah, yeah, I think so. But I'm not convinced they do have a comeback plan either. I think they're just so out of touch now that I don't think they do. Like, they don't listen to their sellers. I mean, even look at like Nick and Andrea. You know, they're big eBay sellers. They didn't listen to them either. So why are they going to listen to someone like me? Um, I think all eBay needs to do is sort out their search engine. Yeah. How many times you search something only to get anything? Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? That's happened to me a lot lately, even when doing the barcode. And I've got like totally different things, and I'm like, I've scanned the fucking barcode, man. Like, what the hell? But yeah, there's been so many things, and I've put in quite specific stuff as well, and it still brings up anything and everything. However, now on the app, you've got the product research tool, so I'm wondering whether maybe they're messing around with that, and that's why you were getting anything and everything. But you've now got Terapeak basically on the app, so I don't know. Nope, I've never had any return on Depop, and I've been selling on Vinted for about a year and a half, and I've probably had about 5 returns on Vinted in that time. With eBay, I've been selling on eBay for about a year and a half. I've probably about triple that many returns. But that's because eBay also make it so easy for buyers to return and refund as well. I don't know, it's just like a different buyer group, isn't it? Like, people just seem happier on Vinted than they are eBay. People do not always look for the cheapest. I don't. I visualize the cheapest item as being the worst service. Okay. That's good, Kathy. I mean, like, I don't know whether it's totally true, but yeah, I don't know whether it's totally true on that. I would look at more feedback before I made that decision. But yeah, it's good to know what other people think. I don't think Vinted actually make profit at the moment. Every income they make gets put into the company to expand it. I don't know, Limelight. I mean, I googled how much Vinted were making, and they are making billions. And that's also like, you know, you've got ads on Vinted as well. You don't have ads on other apps, but Vinted do have ads on there. And the amount of times I've accidentally clicked on it, well, that's, you know, a penny or whatever a time. And I think actually that's how Vinted make their money, is because they have ads on the platform. We have sold stuff when we have put prices up. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends whether someone's looking for that item at the time as well. Um, Bulk clothing sellers will knocked out. Try out Vinted Pro, and unless eBay has something up its sleeve, it could lose multiple millions. Vinted could end up eclipsing eBay. Could be good for sellers. Yeah, I think so as well. I think in the clothing realm, eBay is out, absolutely out. Um, I mean, on Vinted, I've still sold like consoles and things like that as well. But I definitely think in clothing realm, like eBay's out. It's Vinted all the way for me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did as well, and I think they always have done. Um, and again, they have ads on their app, so that's going to be how they make their money as well. That's probably why. Well, obviously you have it's free fees for sellers because that fee is passed on to the buyer. But that's also kind of part of it is because they have ads, they're going to get ad revenue, so that's probably why they can do what they do. eBay sounds like the Conservative Party. um, the boss has too much money to understand anything, Ian. Google say last year Vinton made 17.8 million, but 22 lost 20.4. So they're probably kind of breaking even if you think about it, really. Or they've got a 3 million deficit, haven't they? But I think with Vinted Pro they'll make that back up easy. Like if you're a business clothing seller on eBay, why would you continue when you've got Vinted Pro coming? I don't understand. Fees? No fees. It's not a hard decision, is it? I listened to an interview with Vinted founder on BBC, but it may have been an old interview. Oh, I'd quite like to find that and listen to that actually. I do like BBC Sounds. I'd quite like to find that and listen to it. That is right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's only going to go one way, isn't it? Right, guys, I think I'm going to hop off now. Thanks so much for joining me. Um, Obviously, this was a random off the cuff cover for Chris and Belle. Hope they're good, and just wanted to kind of give you something on a Monday night as well, just to enjoy. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me, guys. Sorry about my fan in the background. Obviously, it's kind of hot. But yeah, hope you had a good rest of the evening, and I'll chat to you all soon. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining.